Are you a huge fantasy basketball fan, but you're struggling to find points league content? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to Game Pick Fantasy Basketball. I'm your host, Robin Marks. You can connect with me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Game Pick Podcast. If you love fantasy sports, specifically fantasy basketball, dynasty, even best ball, please consider subscribing to the channel. Now, we're going to jump right into our mock draft. We're not going to play any games. We are drafting on ESPN today. I believe we are drafting from the ninth position, which would be a first for us this season. I want to make sure that we draft from every position for 12-man leagues, and then we kind of take it from there. Maybe take some suggestions. If folks have league sizes that are unique and they want us to draft from there, we'd love to. I have one community member in our Discord who is in a 16-man dynasty, I believe, and he wants us to draft for a 16-man. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to draft from a 16-man dynasty league so we can offer that value to our community. Ooh, draft is starting. Holy guacamole. Man, that was quick. All right. So we are here at the first pick. Again, this goes without saying, but I have to say it. If you get the first pick, take Nikola Jokic. That's any platform. That's in, or any, format. That's in category leagues, points leagues, the works. Number 2 off the board is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Again, a great pick. This is an expert 12-team head-to-head points mock draft. Number 3 is Luka Doncic. Again, on Yahoo, there's 2 formats. It's really auction and then snake, but then in terms of the actual standard format standards, there's head-to-head categories and roto. So they don't give you a points league option. So that's one of the reasons why we're drafting from ESPN here. But we'll see if we can create our own draft on Yahoo so we can get those points league drafts going. With that said, number 4 off the board is Joel Embiid. Number 5 is Kevin Durant. Number 6 is LeBron James. No, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, number 6 is LeBron James. Holy crap. They drafted LeBron James at 6. Again, this has got to be the computer. I think that's way too high for LeBron in a points league. After LeBron is DeJounte and then James Harden. Love that pick. So I am up on the board. I have Trae Young. I have Karl-Anthony Towns, Stephen Curry, Jason Tatum. Love Karl-Anthony Towns here. I also love Jason Tatum. I'm going to grab Jason Tatum just to kind of change it up a little bit. I take Jason Tatum with my first pick in the first round. That is picking from a position 9. After Jason Tatum, we have actually a human drafting. Very cool. His name is G. Colas. So let's take a look at Jason Tatum's stats. So he was, according to #basketball, he was ranked number 13 in points leagues last year. He averaged, looks like 43 fantasy points there. And points per game, he averaged 26.9. Looks like he had 8 rebounds a game and also 4.4 assists. So Jason Tatum's a solid pick. I'm not mad at that at all. So I'm on the clock again. Yes. Let's see what we got here. So I got Freddie VanVleet, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, John Morant, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis. Oh my God, I'm not even going to talk about Anthony Davis. I got Chris Paul. I'm going to grab Devin Booker here because I really love Devin Booker. And we can take a look at Devin Booker's stats. So last year, according to #basketball, points leagues, ESPN, looks like Devin Booker was number 20, averaged 26.8 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4.8 assists. Now, the thing about Devin Booker that I really like is that he is an ascending young talent, right? So people, because he's been around for a few years, people kind of look at him like he's an old school guy. He's still very young. And I think for a player like Devin Booker, the upside is still there. He can still improve tremendously. This is a guy who scored 70 points in a game. This is a guy that they call the baby Mamba. With that said, I am super high on Devin Booker. I haven't picked him up in any of our mock drafts this season, but for me, I think like this is a great opportunity to just snatch him up in this draft to just show you how much value he has. So let's go ahead and head back to the draft board and see what we got cooking here. My man Gutierrez is up with pick 24. We're going to do a quick recap just to get you guys up to speed. After I picked Devin Booker, next was Kyrie Irving, then Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Fred VanVleet, DeMar DeRozan went after that with the 9th pick in the second round. Then we had Ja Morant with the 10th pick in the second round. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went with pick 11 in the second round. Zion Williamson. I love that people are starting to reach for Zion, and that is Gutierrez. He has a back-to-back pick there, so he grabbed Zion. I love that because Zion is ranked way lower here, so you got to reach for him according to ESPN and Yahoo projections. I love that. Damian Lillard goes with the first pick in round 3. Then we have Anthony Davis. Then we have Pascal Siakam. I've harped on Anthony Davis, and I got a little bit of heat from the community. A lot of people believe in Anthony Davis, and I get it. When I say don't draft him, don't pick him, please know that a part of this is entertainment, right? So yes, I'm a fantasy nerd. I'm on record. I'm on record for saying that I am a fantasy nerd. Like, this is my jam. This is my job. But however, I'm also, here to give you guys entertainment. I'm also here to give you the fantasy personality, not necessarily the fantasy analyst. So yes, I do analyze fantasy data, but I'm not going to sit here in front like my poop don't stink and the decisions that I make are not sometimes incorrect. So 9 times out of 10, when I make a recommendation, it's my personal recommendation because of what I believe in and what I've learned. So with Anthony Davis, I'm a hard no on Anthony Davis all day, every day, and tomorrow and the day after that. Okay, so we're up with our 3rd pick. We got Drew Holiday. We got CJ McCollum. It looks like I got Rudy Gobert. I got Zach LaVine here, who has an O by his name, but I'm going to grab Zach anyway, just because I love Zach. I grab him as much as I can. And, last year he kind of burned me a little bit with injury. I got burned by Zach a little bit, but hey, listen, I think they have such a good 1-2 punch there in Chicago that he can easily be the number 1 on any given night. So let's go ahead and do the quick recap. We were up to Anthony Davis, and then after him, 3rd pick in round 3 was Pascal Siakam, Chris Paul, Tyrese Halliburton, Darius Garland, who I love this season, Bam Adebayo, Cade Cunningham. Listen, man, I love me some Cade Cunningham. I'm going to come back and talk a little bit about Cade after my next pick. Then I picked Zach LaVine round 3 with the pick 9. After that was Jared Allen, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards. Ooh, I would have grabbed Anthony Edwards with my pick. I didn't catch that. I would have loved to have him in the 3rd. I took Zach. That was my bad. That's what I get trying to be a fantasy personality. Kawhi Leonard goes with the 1st pick in the 4th round. Nikola Vucevic goes next, and then Jonas Valanciunas. So we missed out on Anthony Edwards, which I'm sick about. But we still have tons of value here. I want to be mindful of what's happening with Bradley Beal's value. I think that he's being undervalued right now. So again, we're just going to grab Bradley Beal, see what it looks like at the end. After Bradley Beal goes Drew Holiday. And this might be one of the messiest drafts that I did. Missing out on Anthony Edwards right there is actually a little heartbreaking. So tip for the wise, and this is real talk, make sure you're utilizing your queue when you do these drafts. Sometimes we draft and we just kind of go with the flow. Fill up your queue with the people that you don't want to lose. So that way, in fact, if you know what I mean, especially for the next 2 or 3 rounds, if your internet goes out or whatever the issue might be, you still have the opportunity to grab those players that you want. And they don't also, based on their projections and ADP, they don't sink so low that you miss them. You know what I mean? You don't want anything to slip between the cracks when you're talking about your money leagues. So let's talk a little bit about Cade Cunningham. Listen, Cade Cunningham is by far one of the most interesting fantasy pickups for this coming season. Last year, when he finally got into his groove, he started producing on an elite level. I believe that this season he's going to take a jump. I think the leap is, you know, it's a guaranteed leap, right? He's in his second year. He's also one of the rising stars in the NBA. So I don't know if taking him in the third for a 12-man points league is something that I would do. You know what I'm saying? But it's something that you got to consider at this point. Like, I didn't grab him here. I intended on grabbing him, but someone like Zach, who I have more of a history with in fantasy, I got to kind of get to that point. And sometimes with second year players, for me, you know, I have to kind of build that trust in them before I start drafting them on my teams. So again, I believe that making data-driven decisions will get you some success. But also, I think that in fantasy sports, there's also an energy around it. And I know the times that I've had success are the times when I just kind of followed my gut and made that decision that I believed was right based on my feelings, not necessarily the analytics. I think it has to be a balance. And again, that's what makes it fun for me. And I know there might be folks out there who are data driven you know, channels, and that's okay. I'm with that too. Like, I got the numbers here too. However, I want to be clear that for what I'm doing here, a lot of it is coming from the heart too. You know what I'm saying? So let's see how it plays out. I'm hoping to get more championships than I got last year, because last year I was so busy doing videos that I ended up getting in, like, I think 12 or 15 leagues and like bombing in a bunch of them. So the ones that counted, I didn't maybe give the energy. And that's another tip. Like, make sure, guys, I know when fantasy season starts, you guys are going to be jumping in any draft that people, you know, invite you to. And that's great. I get it. However, what you want to do is this: make sure you are jumping into leagues that are money leagues, because it gives everyone in the league that, you know, secondary layer of investment. Like, I want to win, but also I don't want to lose my money. And then also another thing is, I wouldn't get in too many leagues. I would, like, pick a number, stick to it, manage that. Okay. Let me give you guys a recap of where we are with the draft before the next pick. I've been talking a little bit. After Bradley Beal goes Drew Holiday, CJ McCollum, Evan Mobley, De'Aaron Fox, Jaylen Brown, Robert Williams, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Chris Middleton. Let me change these screens so you guys can see this with me. Chris Middleton, Kristaps Porzingis, DeAndre Ayton, Christian Wood, and then Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier goes with pick 5 in round 5. Terry Rozier, and this is a good one. Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, with the uncertainty surrounding Miles Bridges, is going to be super valuable this year. Like, don't miss out on your opportunity to grab him. I'm up. It looks like D'Angelo Russell is on the board. Jakob Poeltl is on the board. Clint Capella. Colin Sexton. Ooh, man. I'm going to get him in the next round. I love Colin Sexton this year. That is a sexy pick. I'm going to go ahead and go with Jakob Poeltl. I need a little bit of size. And I think that he's getting undervalued, man. Like, this might have been a bit of a reach for him based on my personal rankings. But according to ESPN ADP, I think that that's fair to grab him this late. Miles Bridges goes this again. This is oh my god, this is a messy draft, guys. This draft is, guys. This is not my best work. This ESPN crap is like freaking ridiculous. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. This is what we doing. Let me give you the recap. So after Scary Terry goes Scotty Barnes, good. Anthony Simons, love it. Miles Bridges, what in the wanderlust are you smoking, bro? Like, why are we drafting Miles Bridges in round 5 of a mock draft? It makes no sense. Then I go with Jakob Poeltl, which someone might say I'm smoking wanderlust with that pick, but I know that it's going to be a valuable pick. Then we have Russell Westbrook. This late in the draft, I'm okay with it. Lonzo Ball, too many concerns with injury. And I'm up again. So let's go ahead and take a look-see. So I said that I wanted to grab Colin Sexton, right? Is he still around? There he goes. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Now this I'm okay with. I'm okay with grabbing Colin Sexton right here in the 6th round. I'm okay. let's finish the recap. We had Russell Westbrook, Lonzo Ball goes with the 11th pick in round 5. Ben Simmons, 12th pick, round 5. Really like that one. This is what I'm talking about. Guys, we got to really take advantage of the situation that is presented to you, right? So with a player like Ben Simmons who can perform on an elite top 15 points league level, right? He can really put up numbers in so many categories. But no one has faith in him. No one thinks that he's going to play. If you take a leap on him in what is that? The 5th or 6th round, you might get a first round player in the 5th or 6th round. Back to the emotion, right? What if you're wrong? Then it throws off the analytics of your team and you probably get crushed. But it's risk versus reward, and you got to make those decisions, and you got to have kind of a balance. So I'm all for drafting Ben Simmons. I didn't get him here, but I'm totally fine with that. After Ben Simmons, we had OG Anunoby. Not mad at that. Malcolm Brogdon. Don't like that pick at all. I think his usage is going to be down. There's too many mouths to feed in Boston. Tobias Harris. Interesting. Colin Sexton. Love it. Sexiest pick in fantasy. D'Angelo Russell. Okay. Desmond Bain. Love it. Clint Capella. Love it. Nurkic. Tyrese Maxey. Love it. And then we are back up in a couple of picks. So let's quickly take a look at who did I draft there? Jakob Poeltl. See if I can grab some Jakob Poeltl stats. I might not be able to find them quick enough, but let's take a look. See, where was my man Jakob ranked last year? And listen, again, sometimes the sexiest names are not the best picks. And Jakob Poeltl, man, that's not a sexy pick, guys. That's actually a boo-boo bear pick. But the numbers don't lie. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy puts up numbers. He's a double-double machine. And over there with the departure, having some trouble finding the stats. We're all good with that. So with the departure of DeJounte Murray, we got to think about it like this. DeJounte Murray was putting up like top 10 fantasy numbers. So there's going to be a lot of room for the other or the leftover pieces, if you will, to eat. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl. So let's be mindful of that in making these decisions. Like, it's not just the name value, right? Sometimes the sexiest name is not necessarily the best fit for your team. So I'm up in about 3 or 4 picks. Let's see if we got a recap for you. So after Tyrese Maxey goes Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant went in the 6th round, 10th pick. Tyler Hero. Miles Turner. Why? Jamal Murray. I think he could have a good bounce back year. That's Team Gutierrez. I think that's a great pick. I think he could have a good bounce back year. So me grabbing him in the 7th round, I'm okay with it. Very similar to the Ben Simmons pick, right? So it's like risk versus reward. If he produces, he could be like a game changer for you. If you can grab a guy like that who gives you top 20 value, but you get him like in a 7th, 8th round, I think that's lots and lots of value and potential. But if he's, he's busted up and he's not producing on the same level, it could be a wasted pick. After Jamal Murray goes RJ Barrett. I absolutely love this. RJ Barrett is a points league darling. Like, I love him. Like, puts up the numbers that you need. So we are back up. John Collins is on the board. Oh my God, I love John Collins there. God, that's a good deal. Mikal Bridges is still around. Love him there. I'm gonna just grab John Collins. The 30-second clock on ESPN, man, I gotta move fast. Like, I had some other drafts this season where I've like been talking, and then messing around. Man, I grabbed Jaren Jackson Jr. the other day. Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, I don't even believe it. Like, it's so crazy. I was trying to multi-stream here, but my phone, I guess I have a situation there. Okay, so let's keep it going. Let's do our recap. So we're going to go right on back to RJ Barrett. Again, love RJ Barrett. Jordan Poole, I don't know about that. Andrew Wiggins, I like that, but not so crazy about it. Josh Giddey, love Josh Giddey in the 7th round with pick 5. Jalen Brunson, seeing is believing. I got to see him in that environment with that many, people who need usage. I want to see how he does. Draymond Green, not crazy about Draymond Green these days. Jonathan Isaac, risk versus reward, very similar to the Jamal Murray, Ben Simmons. We don't know what to expect, but he can produce at a high level when healthy. Excuse me. Let me get a sip of this coffee. So I'm back up again. On the board, I got Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Harrison Barnes, Montrezl Harrell, Mitchell Robinson, Reggie Jackson. This is I might just go ahead and go. It's time. I'm grabbing Paolo Banchero, Paolo Banchero. Listen, this is the thing about drafting a rookie in the what? What did I grab him in? I grabbed him in the night. I want to say the 8th round, right? So you grab Paolo Banchero in the 8th round. So what does that mean? That means that you're taking a shot. You're taking a shot at seeing what the possibilities could be for that young man. So, for example, when people were drafting LaMelo Ball in his rookie season, we were like, what are you doing? Why are you grabbing him? What about Anthony Edwards and Wiseman? Why are you grabbing LaMelo? Big bowler brand. And when I tell you, he came out the gates for fantasy like on a tear and was a super valuable contributor to your fantasy team if you drafted him in his rookie year. Last year, Evan Mobley. If you drafted Evan Mobley, you got tons of value last year. Josh Giddey even, until he went down towards the end of the season. With all of that being said, Paolo Banchero has the opportunity in Orlando to be at least a top 50 guy. I think he could be a top 50 guy for points leagues. And if you grab him this late, like I grabbed him in the 8th round, y'all. Like, again, people don't want to draft rookies. I think I have a few humans in here playing with me. It might be a bit of that maybe there are not enough humans that are making these decisions. But for me, like I'm grabbing him every day and tomorrow. And let me see how many slots I have left because I might be looking at Jaden Ivey next. So right now it looks like I have quite a few slots actually. So I'm gonna roll easy. Okay. So let's do that recap for you so you know kind of where we are. And that's the thing. If you guys are doing mock draft content, please do the recaps, man. Like let us know who went where. Like sometimes guys do, and nothing to get, and this is for fantasy football and basketball. Sometimes guys do the fantasy mock drafts, yo. They do mock drafts on ESPN, on Yahoo, on Underdog, all over the place. But they just talk about their picks. And some of them like have the big screen up like this and be like, oh, I just picked Jimmy. All right, so yeah, I picked Jimmy, and that's all I'm going to talk about because Jimmy sells coffee and Jimmy got a new hairstyle and Jimmy. And 17 people go by. You don't tell, like, I can't make an informed decision if you don't share with me who is going where. So just tell me, guys. And listen, if you do that and that's your style, I'm not mad at it. I'm just letting you know as a consumer of this content too, right? Because I live, breathe, poop, sleep fantasy basketball, fantasy points leagues, dynasty, best ball. Those are my jams. Category, I don't have time for category anymore, right? And a lot of people in the community like are all category, and I love category. Don't get me wrong. I just am in this time of my life, I don't have the time for it. You know what I'm saying? I can't do category and points leagues and roto. Like I'm not there yet. I'm not full time with this. If I get full time, maybe I'll do that. Right now, I have a job, I have 2 kids, I have a wife. I can do points leagues. And you know what? The community needs more points leagues content, points league content. Because what I'm seeing, and I'm gonna do a whole episode on this because the snobbery, the snobbish approach and feelings towards points leagues is getting a little ridiculous. Because like in fantasy football, we never hear that. You never hear a half point PPR guy say, oh, like you play full PPR? Ill. Like, what kind of bull snipe is that where we are clowning or degrading or just like, let me get back to the draft. I'm gonna come back to that topic though. So I am up on the board. I have Thomas Bryant, Bobby Portis, Mark. We getting into these are scary hours, guys. It's getting ugly. I'm gonna grab Mikal Bridges here just because Miles Bridges went. I gotta grab his Bridges brother, Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is gonna not the best points league asset. However, he will give you every single thing that you need. The thing that I love about him for points leagues is that he will. The thing I love about him for points leagues is that he will get you those steals. He will get you those blocks, and those statistics in points leagues, they're heavily weighted. So you want to be very intentional about making sure you grab folks who offer you some defensive stats. And for him in particular, he was ranked 106 last year according to hashtag basketball and points leagues. He had 1.2 steals per game, a little less than a block per game. Think about 0.8. But listen, the thing about a person or a player like Mikal Bridges is that people aren't really checking for him. And I believe that, again, as a young star, if he can add a couple of points to his per game average, that could be the difference from him being ranked 106 this year to being ranked 75 or even 50. So we'll see. That might be an ambitious take, but I love Mikal Bridges in points leagues. Let's do that recap because I know I was harping a little bit. But before we do the recap, let's go ahead and make our next pick. It looks like Montrez is here. Mitchell Robinson is here. Mo Bamba, Aaron Gordon, not interested. George. Oh, man, this is getting ugly. So, hey, listen, we talking about defensive specialists. I'm going to just grab Marcus Smart here. Why not? Why not? Marcus Smart might not be the smartest pick, right? You like what I did there? Might not be the smartest pick, but I'll tell you what is a smart pick. Picking Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the best place for fantasy sports, including best ball, daily drafts, and pick 'em. You can start drafting in minutes. All you have to do is go to your app store on Android or Apple, and you can download Underdog. Sign up today and use the promo code GamePickPodcast, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. It's like getting free money. Don't miss out on your chance to double up from the jump. Again, all you have to do is download the Underdog Fantasy app on Android or iOS. Now, let's do a recap because I am like way behind on my recaps, and you got to practice what you preach. I was just talking about how people don't do the recaps. So after my the last person I talked about was going. Okay, let's go right back to John Collins. So I picked John Collins round 7, pick 9. Then we had Klay Thompson, Kyle Lowry, Wendell Carter Jr., Michael Porter Jr., a lot of juniors, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jesus Christ, if I get another junior, Keldon Johnson Jr., nah, his name is not Johnson Jr., Paolo Banchero, that was my pick, Kyle Kuzma, Cole Anthony, Al Horford, Kevin Porter Jr., Jesus, Gary Trent Jr., what? Lauri Markkanen Jr., no, I'm joking, Dylan Brooks, Gordon Hayward. I'm out on Gordon Hayward, by the way. Out. Jalen Green, Lugans Dort, Brandon Clark, Buddy Hield, Franz Wagner, Josh Hart, Norman Powell, Karis LeVert, Mikal Bridges. My pick, Sadiq Bey, Bobby Portis, Devin Vassell. Love that pick. I'm drafting Devin Vassell wherever I can. Alperen Şengün. Love that pick. If this is round 10, pick 1, Alperen Şengün. Love it. Will Barton, round 10, pick 2. John Wall, pick 3, round 10. I picked Marcus Smart, pick 4. Not crazy about that. Not the smartest pick. Thomas Bryant, Mo Bamba, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Suggs, Steven Adams. I'm out on Steven Adams. Jordan Clarkson, Bogdanovich, Harrison Barnes, Spencer Dinwiddie. Okay, I think we are all caught up now. So let me just go back onto my soapbox quickly. So, like I was saying earlier, in fantasy football, right? Which is the biggest, fantasy platform. Like it's fantasy football, I believe, baseball, then basketball for American sports. And then it's American football, world soccer or world football, and then cricket. I believe I have to look that up for the next live stream. I'll try to get that for you. But like in fantasy football, we would never be like, "Yo, wait a minute, I'm in a super flex league. You telling me you're in a PPR league? Like, who does that? Like, why would you do that?" And that's what this snobbiness. This is the snobbiness that's happening in fantasy basketball. And listen, I've been playing fantasy basketball, I want to say, for about 6 or 7 years, maybe 7 or 8 years, not sure, but it's been a long time. And since I've been in, the snobbery has kind of gotten tamed a little bit, where people are not as like, "Oh, I hate points leagues. I hate points leagues." Like nobody in the fantasy football community is like, "Yo, oh my God, I hate standard leagues. They're so whack." People play standard leagues. Listen, you guys gotta get it together, man. Let me get it together and not miss my pick. Okay, so I am up on the board. I got Derek White, I got Andre Drummond, I got Zubac, I got Kevin Love, I got a headache from saying all of these horrible names. God, this is ugly. So this is where I would reach for Ivy. Let's see if I got time. Jaden Ivey, 6'5". Jaden Ivey. I grabbed Jaden Ivey. Oh my goodness, I'm hyped. So that's what happens with me. Once I get into these scary hours, this witching slot, you know what I'm saying? Like round 12, round 13, I'm reaching for all of those rookies. So right now I have 2 spots left on my bench. I'm looking for the young man from Portland, Shaden Sharp. I'm gonna put him in my queue. What's that other guy's name? It's a guy, Jovic. Man, I love Jovic. Just the idea of Jovic gives me goosebumps. I'm excited about it, but I'm not sure if he will be available. So I'm gonna queue up Keegan Murray as well, just to kind of get there. And I'm gonna wait it out and see if I can have that luck of the draw to get some of those younger guys. See if I can get the Keegan Murray's and Shaden Sharps. And Shaden Sharp hasn't played organized ball since high school, right? Like in a public setting, I should say. So he is a mystery man. So many people are interested in what he's gonna do. So we have we'll do a recap as soon as I make my next pick. So I got my man G Coolis. And G Coolis, man, you up in here like a human being here. Yo, I'm so hyped about that. We don't have too many auto drafters. Again, I am really excited about that, because the fact that Yahoo only does for their, automated drafts, only do categories and roto. That's pretty cool. So it looks like I'm gonna have the opportunity to grab Keegan if I want. Oh no, Keegan, I lost Keegan. I'm gonna just grab Shaden Sharp before I end up losing him, and then I'll have one more pick. So let me close out on this topic. I want to make sure I close the loop on that. So with that said, all of that about the snobbish behavior of the fantasy basketball community. Listen, guys, it's not that serious. It's all love. Just because somebody likes something different than you doesn't make them less important than you. Especially for my young guys out there. Like, come on, guys. Like, I'm gonna coach you through this. I'm a grown man. I'm gonna coach you through this. And for you older guys who act like kids, I'm gonna coach you through it too. If somebody likes something that's different than you, you don't have to clown them or tear them down. So if somebody likes points leagues, let them like points leagues. If somebody likes roto leagues, let them like roto leagues. And if you like category leagues, then that's fine. I'm all good with that. If you want to punt field goal percentage and do this and that and the third, I'm all good with that. But don't clown me and my people, make us feel a certain way because you don't approve. Who the frick are you to approve what format we like? Who made you like fantasy basketball god? Why don't you go somewhere with that? Not going to get out of character and drop any F-bombs or anything crazy like that. But just know, guys, it is not that serious. They're literally games. They are all games. This is a game about a game. You are you are essentially playing pretend. You are pretending to be a general manager of a pretend basketball team. Do you know how nerdy that is? You already nerdy. You don't have to like make it somebody else is like more or less than you because you play a platform that you believe is more complicated and in depth. No doubt, all good. I'm all for that. But like, and also like the disrespect of the sleeper app game pick format. Like, are you serious? That simplifies the game for beginners. So we should want more people to come play fantasy basketball. We can't compete with NFL football, and we will never compete with NFL football if people like you continue to like degrade platforms that are not the platforms of your preference. So I'll end with that. If anyone disagrees, please drop a comment. I would love to discuss it. Let's move on to finishing up this mock draft. Robin Marks, you got to slow down. You're getting really emotional there. I know, but I care about this. Okay. Don't show them your multiple personalities. Okay. So let's do a recap. Again, very important. Guys, if you're doing mock draft content, please give us the full recaps. We were up to Devin Vassell. Let's start with Marcus Smart. So Marcus Smart went with the 4th pick in the 10th round. Thomas Bryant, Mo Bamba, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Suggs, Steven Adams, Jordan Clarkson, Bogdanovich, Harrison Barnes, Spencer Dinwiddie, Reggie Jackson, Walker Kessler, Monte Morris, Jabari Smith Jr., Kelly Oubre Jr., Kevin Looney, Conley, Jaden Ivey, my pick, Kemba Walker. I'd love to see what he's going to do in Detroit. He'd probably be like a mentor. Derek White, Keegan Murray, Markelle Fultz, Seth Curry, Taylor Horton Tucker, Shaden Sharp, Montrezl Harrell, Robert Covington, Alex Caruso, Patrick Beverly, Dorian Finney-Smith, Victor Oladipo, Marvin Bagley Jr. I am up, so I'm going to quickly grab someone here. This is the ugliness. I'm just gonna grab Zubac, Marvin Bagley Jr., Aaron Gordon, Patrick Williams, Hachimura, Cameron Johnson, Patty Mills, Bogdanovich, Rashawn Holmes. Love that pick that late. Ah, man. Terrence Mann, Ricky Rubio, and Zubac, which was my pick. Let's see if we can take a look at my full roster. Can we do that? Can we do that? Can we show them our roster? Nope. So let me, in the spirit of time, I'm just gonna go ahead and run through my roster so you can know what we did. Again, this might have been one of the messiest mock drafts of the season. And I think a part of it is the fact that I maybe harped a little bit about some other topics and maybe wasn't as focused on my roster construction, and also did not really pay attention to the actual ESPN rankings. I didn't pull people up. I kind of just went with the flow. But here goes my team. Let's share it. Let's be proud. So we have Jason Tatum, who went 1 in the first round. Devin Booker, Zach LaVine. I'm okay with the first 4. I would have preferred here at the 3rd round to grab Anthony Edwards, but I'm completely fine with this. Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal. Love that with the 4th pick. This is where it kind of slid. Jakob Poeltl at 5th. Colin Sexton. I think it's a sexy pick, but that might even be a little too early. John Collins, Paulo Banchero. Not mad at that. Mikal Bridges, Marcus Smart, Jaden Ivey, Shaden Sharp, and then Zubac. So that is my team. I'm sticking with it. That's my story. I am sticking with it. Listen, if you have an idea for a future episode, please do me a favor and drop a comment and let me know what the idea is for the video. Also, please join our private Discord server. If you need help with waiver pickups, trades, dynasty questions, best ball drafts, best ball season is here. Team names, the works. All you have to do is hit the link in the YouTube description of this episode. Also, don't forget to bang on that subscribe button, like bang on it, like the Shaquille O'Neal logo. Like bang on that subscribe button and hit us with a thumbs up and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, play the waivers, set your lineups, and follow Game Pick, you freaking fantasy nerds. Deuces. Outro music. Outro music.